Have you ever wondered how the face of beauty has transformed over the years? A fascinating question, isn't it? Well, we're here to take you on a voyage through the vibrant history of makeup. It's a story that spans over a century, filled with glamour, innovation, and style. From the sultry, smoky eyes of the roaring 20s to the bold, vibrant hues of the disco 80s, each decade has left its unique stamp on the world of beauty. Imagine the subtle yet dramatic shifts in makeup trends as they mirrored societal changes, reflecting the spirit of each era. It's not just about lipstick and mascara, it's about self-expression, creativity, and culture. Makeup has always been an art form, a way to enhance, to transform, to empower. It's a story of change and continuity, a testament to the timeless allure of beauty. So buckle up, get ready to delve into the past, and join us on this fascinating journey through time, tracing the evolution of makeup. Let's take our first step back in time to the 1920s, the era of jazz and flapper girls. This was a decade of dramatic social and political change, and the world of beauty was not left untouched. The Roaring Twenties saw a significant shift in makeup trends, reflecting the spirit of rebellion and the newfound freedom women were beginning to enjoy. Bold, vibrant lip colors dominated the scene, a stark contrast to the natural hues of the previous decades. Lipsticks in shades of deep red, maroon, and even black were all the rage. Dark eye makeup too was a significant trend. Women would rim their eyes with kohl, creating a smoky, sultry look that was as daring as it was captivating. And let's not forget the thin, dramatically arched eyebrows, a trademark of the 1920s beauty aesthetic. These styles were more than just a fashion statement. They were a symbol of women's liberation and defiance against societal norms. As we bid adieu to the 20s, let's leap forward to the next era. Fast forward to the 1950s, an era defined by glamour and elegance. This decade saw a revolution in the makeup world that still resonates today. Foundation, a product that is now indispensable in our makeup kits, was first introduced in the 50s. This innovation offered a flawless base for women to showcase their features. A significant trend of the 50s was the thick, arched eyebrow. This style, inspired by Hollywood stars, was a stark contrast to the thin, delicate brows of the previous decade. Women began to embrace their natural brow thickness, shaping them into high arches that accentuated their eyes. And who could forget the iconic red lipstick? It was the 50s that popularized this bold, vibrant shade. Hollywood sirens were often seen sporting this glamorous look, inspiring women everywhere to don a red pout. This trend, like many others from the fabulous 50s, has stood the test of time. And now, let's rock and roll into the next decade. Welcome to the 1960s, the decade of bold and experimental styles. This era was a vibrant explosion of color and drama, with makeup trends that were as revolutionary as the decade itself. The 60s was the dawn of dramatic eye makeup, with bold, sweeping lines of eyeliner and layers of mascara creating the iconic twiggy look that defined the decade. False eyelashes, both on the top and bottom, added to the drama, making eyes the star of the show. In contrast to the eyes, lips were kept subtle with pastel lip colors, a stark departure from the deep reds of the 50s. But these trends were more than just fashion statements. They were a reflection of the cultural revolution that was sweeping the globe, a visual language of rebellion and self-expression that still resonates today. As we say goodbye to the swinging 60s, let's groove into the next era. Next stop, the 1980s, an era of excess and flamboyance. The makeup of this decade was as vibrant and over-the-top as the music, fashion, and culture that defined it. If there was ever a time to go big or go home, it was the 80s. The 80s were all about color, and the eyeshadows of this era were no exception. A rainbow of hues was applied liberally and often extended far beyond the eyelid. The eyeshadows were bold, bright, and unapologetically dramatic, reflecting the vibrant spirit of the decade. Blush was another key player in the 80s makeup arsenal. Applied heavily and high on the cheekbones, it was used to sculpt and define the face, often in tones of bright pink or peach. The blush wasn't just a makeup product, it was a statement piece, a clear declaration of the wearer's confidence and audacity. But the decade's makeup trends weren't just about the eyes and cheeks. The lips were given their fair share of attention too. Glossy lips were the order of the day, with lip gloss often layered over lipstick for a high shine finish. The colors ranged from soft pinks to vibrant reds, adding a final touch of glam to the overall look. These trends weren't just about aesthetics, though. They were reflections of the era's mood. The 80s were a time of excess and flamboyance, and the makeup of the decade mirrored this. The bold colors, the heavy application, the glossy finishes, they all spoke to a society that was embracing vibrancy and rejecting subtlety. As we look back, it's clear to see that the makeup of the 80s was a perfect representation of the decade itself. It was bold, it was colorful, it was over the top. It was a time when makeup was used not just to enhance beauty, but to make a statement. As we leave the disco lights of the 80s behind, let's step into the final decade of our journey. Finally, we arrive in the 1990s, the decade of minimalism and grunge, a time where the world of beauty was painted with an alternative brush, inspired by the rebellious spirit of grunge music and fashion. The 90s were all about breaking away from traditional beauty norms and embracing a more raw, edgy aesthetic. The key makeup trends of the era were a stark contrast to the vibrant and colorful styles of the previous decades. The 90s were all about matte skin, thin eyebrows, and brown lipsticks. The look was understated yet impactful, much like the grunge movement itself. Matte skin was the canvas of choice, providing a flawless, shine-free base that was a far cry from the dewy complexions of the past. The aim was to achieve a natural yet refined look, with a focus on perfecting the skin rather than highlighting or contouring. Eyebrows were plucked to near extinction, creating thin arches that were a stark departure from the fuller brows of the 80s. This trend, while not as prevalent today, was a defining feature of the 90s makeup landscape, embodying the era's penchant for minimalism. But perhaps the most iconic trend of the 90s was the brown lipstick. This was not the bright, poppy colors of the past, but a muted, earthy brown that encapsulated the grunge ethos. The color was versatile, able to be dressed up or down depending on the occasion, and became a staple in every makeup bag. These trends were not just about aesthetics, but a reflection of the times. The grunge movement was all about challenging the status quo, and the makeup trends of the 90s echoed this sentiment. They were a rebellion against the excess of the 80s, a desire for authenticity and simplicity. And with that, we conclude our journey through the decades, witnessing the evolution of makeup. From the roaring 20s to the grunge 90s, we've seen how beauty trends have changed and evolved, reflecting the spirit and culture of the times. It's a testament to the powerful role makeup plays in our lives, not just as a tool for enhancement, but as a form of self-expression and identity. From the roaring 20s to the grunge 90s, we've seen how makeup has evolved and transformed. Each decade, a unique dance of color and style has left its indelible mark on the tapestry of beauty. The audacious red lips and kohl-rimmed eyes of the 20s, the polished elegance of the 50s, the vibrant hues of the 60s, the glittering excess of the 80s, and the raw, edgy aesthetics of the 90s. These eras not only defined the makeup trends of their time, but also shaped the beauty ideals and standards of the subsequent years. They have shown us the power of makeup as a form of personal expression, a tool to enhance our beauty, and a canvas to create art. Each era, a reflection of its time, a testament to the ever-changing, ever-evolving nature of beauty. Thank you for joining us on this fascinating journey, and remember, beauty is always in the eye of the beholder.